mostly sunny skies, 55 for the high. Wednesday night, clouds come sweeping in fairly quickly, 45. Thursday, clouds with periods of rain, maybe a rumble of thunder. The focus on the morning and early afternoon. Windy, and temperatures will start in the upper 40s and then kind of drop to the lower 40s during the late afternoon. Down to 21 on Thursday night, and Friday, sunny and 38. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
50 degrees, but it feels like 41 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, southbound 55's bumper to bumper south of Gravois, solid all the way down to Bates. There's slow traffic from 141 to Richardson and north of Imperial, south of Richardson, whatever we want to call it. It's slow, jamming south of Imperial all the way past Z due to that crash that was in the right lane before McNutt. Eastbound 44 and 64 both jammed back past Jefferson, headed on to the Papa Street Bridge because of the lane restrictions and the Illinois end. Eastbound 2 left lanes closed there. Westbound 64 Boyle out to McCausland's bumper to bumper. McKnight to 270 slow. In fact, both ways between 270 and 170 are pretty busy on 64. South 170 south of Olive. Westbound Clarkson to Topgolf. 94 through K, 364 out to 70. Southbound 270 bogs down at 364. Jam through 64 toward Manchester. Slow to Doherty Ferry and 44 to Gravois. 44 westbound Vandevetter Kings Highway area. Then it's west of Jamison. Slow all the way out to Big Bend. They're blocking the left lane for that crash. Still backed up west of Lindbergh Heavy out to 141. Southbound 141 north of Ladue down to almost Clayton Road's jam, but it's slow most of the way down to where you get to Big Bend, and then it's jammed from there into Valley Park, so tough run there as well. Westbound 70 heavy at the city limits past the airport, 79 out past Highway K. Next update at 5:20 from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Take it to Telly.
One little light can stall out your entire day, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, what do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. But they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. Take it to Telly.
News, traffic, and the latest from the world of sports. This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, guys, good to be with you on Rush Hour Sports here on a Tuesday. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here till 6 o'clock. Sports Open Line to follow. What's up, Matt?
Hey, how's it going?
It's pretty good, man. Pretty good. The hot stove is finally starting to churn some stuff out.
It is.
It was nice having a real move to talk about yesterday with Dustin May. And, certainly it'll be a topic of discussion, that the rotation and these eventually the trades that are going to happen. Hopefully multiple. I would be shocked if it weren't.
The longer it takes for them to announce Dustin May, the more I'm convinced they're holding off to, get some other things done.
Could be. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because there's no timeline. Like once you've agreed to terms, there's no rule that says you've got to officially sign the deal within a certain number of hours or days.
There just has to be trust between the two sides.
Right.
So Dustin May's agent and Chaim Bloom have to have an extreme amount of trust in each other, that the agent is not going to go shop May somewhere else, and that the Cardinals and Chaim are going to follow through on what they say they're going to do.
I think both sides would understand the severe negative impact of doing those things.
Yes.
Because if you did that as the agent, then no team is ever going to trust you. And if you did that as a team, no agent's ever going to trust you. Right. So it would be a severely limiting factor moving forward. But yeah, I think you're right. I think rather than needlessly losing someone you currently have on your 40-man roster, if you just wait a number of days, whatever you think it is, whether it's going to be a one or a two-player trade or multiple trades or one trade, you're probably going to clear up a spot in a lot of these deals because you're most likely not trading, as an example, Brendan Donovan straight up for a major league player.
Right.
Maybe. I mean, you never know. But I would say probably unlikely because you're going to get more talent if you're getting minor league talent than if you're getting major league talent.
Yeah.
Because the major league talent is coming from teams that are trying to win. Using Seattle as an example. By the way, I don't know if you've seen this, but the comments on all the Mariners Cardinals rumors from fans of both sides are pretty hilarious. Like there's a picture I've seen, like, this is what Mariners fans think Bryce Miller is, and it was a picture of Jacob deGrom. And then one of the Mariners fans replied with a photo of Bobby Witt Jr. saying, this is what Cardinals fans think Brendan Donovan is. And it's like this back and forth. They all think everybody thinks that the other side is unreasonable and all of that, like as far as like what they think their players were, which is kind of true. Fan bases get weird.
They do.
About their own players and about their own process. And by the way, so do teams.
Oh, and
I mean, that was
a
criticism of Mo.
That's where I think this is a unique moment in time for the Cardinals, because the loyalty to the players from Chaim Bloom is not going to be that of somebody who's more entrenched in the organization or actually was involved in acquiring those players.
Yeah, and obviously he's also doing a different task. This is an open, clear rebuild. They're not saying they're trying to stink this year, because they do want to be competitive. They're not. There's a difference between rebuilding and tanking. They're not tanking. Tanking would be shredding your roster. Right? That's we've seen that before. That's not this. This is a rebuild, which is a legitimate thing, but we're taking the bumpers off. Last year it was a rebuild with bumpers on the side. It was like, well, we're kind of retooling.
Well, you need a bumper when you're going down the runway and you don't want to fall off the runway.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't need anything going off the runway in that first year of it. This is a little bit more obvious and realistic as far as how it's being portrayed to us. Which I want to talk about later. I want to bring this up because we had a comment yesterday on the show that said something like, "I expect them to be a contender for the championship by 2027 or 2028." And I just want to talk about the bigger picture on that and realistic expectations for a team in a rebuild. We'll do that in a little bit. But on the Donovan thing and on the Mariners, Giants, you name it, contending teams want to keep their good major league players because that's how they contend.
Right.
So even if you like Bryce Miller, you're much more likely to get the same level of talent plus more in a minor league pitcher that they're not counting on for 2025, because a contender wants the known commodity. That's why they want Brendan Donovan, because he's a known commodity. They can put that in their lineup and say, we know within 10% either way what he's going to be. And you don't ever know that about a guy at AA or a guy at A-ball or whatever. So that's why good teams trade talented young players to get proven players. It's why the Dodgers at the time traded Yordan Alvarez to the Astros, because they didn't want the long-term wait. They wanted something that would help them in that moment. Long-term, it's a bad deal, but that's why they did it. And you're much more likely to get the talent you want and expect when you're not fixated on getting somebody off the major league team.
And that's not, for the Cardinals, it's about bringing in as much talent as possible, almost no matter what level they slot in. And the fact that you're going to be able to bring in more talent when they're slotted a little bit lower, that's going to be the likely result.
Well, let's also we use the Seattle as an example. It's not a foregone conclusion that Seattle's going to be the team that you're trading with, okay? But because it was named by Katie Wu as one of the favorites, and because we had a couple of names listed there, one was Lazaro Montes, the outfielder who may be a DH. He's not a great outfielder, but he's a big dude, big left-handed hitter who knows the strike zone and hits dingers, which is a good combination. Draw walks and hit dingers is giving you a pretty good floor. At the very least, you could be like a 6-hole hitter, low batting average, good on-base percentage with power. Maybe a Kyle Schwarber light, if you will, right? Schwarber's never going to win a batting title, but he's a super valuable $30 million a year player despite that. And he's not a defender at all.
Right, but you're going to win a lot of games with Kyle Schwarber in your lineup.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you got that name, and then you had Gerangelo Cinche, who is the switch pitcher, who throws 95+ both from the right and the left side, which is just insane.
It is. He's my favorite of the names that are out there just because I want to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently he's a lot better right-handed than lefty. But who cares?
Yeah.
Apparently, like, the knock is he only has 2 pitches as a lefty. Well, great, because if he switches it, he's facing a left-handed hitter. He only needs 2 pitches. How many pitches do most left-handed relievers have? 2.
2.
You got your fastball and whatever your best breaking ball is.
Sure.
Or if you're a changeup guy, but you've got an off-speed and you typically have a fastball. But I would say this, I for all the obsession about a guy like Bryce Miller, who's really talented. I mean, he's young, he's controlled, but he's not as controlled as a minor leaguer.
No.
He's a free agent in 4 years, which seems like a long time, and it is, but keeping in mind that in a year he's going to be starting with arbitration. So you're going to be paying him more, faster, and you're not getting a higher ceiling by getting someone who's a recognizable name. Brian Woo's another one. I've seen Cardinals fans like, you got to get Brian Woo. You're not getting Brian Woo. They're not trading one of their top stars. They have 4 guys, by the way, that could be either a 1 or 2 on a lot of teams with Wu and Gilbert and Kirby and Castillo. And Miller is their 5, but he would be a 3 on most teams, right? So there are a lot of, and I know what his numbers look like this last year, but he's better than what his numbers look like. But you're not getting a Brian Wu. But even if you could, he's also a free agent in that same time period, and he's going to be making a lot of money in arbitration. You're better off not getting the name player because you will get more talent at a better price by getting the minor leaguer.
And there's going to be people who don't like that because it seems like it's going to take longer. And I get that. Like that is a valid thought.
It is.
It's completely valid, but it's also just where the team is at right now. And I think you have to be accepting of the idea that, and Chaim has said this over and over and over again, that the idea is to build something up where whenever they're losing somebody, there's somebody else stepping in to be able to take that spot. So you've got to build up a system again and build up the organization again where you always have guys ready to step in.
Perfectly set it up for us, because the next segment, I want to talk about that. What's the time frame, realistic time frame for championship talk? Because if you try to rush it, you're more likely to screw it up.
Yep.
But you don't want it to take forever either. You know, there's a fine balance in there. So we're going to get into that. And if you want to throw in your 2 cents, you're on the stream. Easy. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You're welcome to chime in right there. You can text 314-436-7900. It's Matt Pauley and Kevin Wheeler with you on Rush Hour Sports on KMOX.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina. Your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
Before he became one of the most celebrated broadcasters in America, Bob Costas launched his remarkable career right here at KMOX.
I was 22 years old when I came to KMOX.
Costas called play-by-play for the Spirits of St. Louis, hosted Open Line, and covered Mizzou basketball, all while honoring the sharp wit and subtle comic timing he displayed as a semi-regular on The Carney Show.
Jack Carney, he introduced me to the St. Louis audience beyond the basketball games that I was calling.
His 7 years at KMOX set the stage for a legendary national career. From hosting 12 Olympic Games to winning 29 Emmy Awards, Bob Costas has become one of the defining voices of American broadcasting, always proudly connected to the city where it all began. Bob Costas, a KMOX pioneer.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
This is Amy Mark Scores, chair of this year's Red Kettle campaign. Christmas reminds us of the challenges faced by our neighbors in need, basic needs we sometimes take for granted. When you give with joy to the Salvation Army, you transform lives. You put food on the table and provide warm beds. You give veterans and seniors purpose. You help a child experience the joy of Christmas. And 90 cents of every dollar donated goes directly to critical social services. Bring joy to the world today. Visit salarmy.us/Amy Mark Scores.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Still got a ton of traffic out there. This traffic reports the Service of Financial and Tax Strategies downtown. Eastbound 44 and 64 are both jammed near Grand, getting onto the Papa Street Bridge because those left lanes closed at the Illinois end. And westbound 44 is backed up at the Musial Veterans Bridge. Westbound 64 is a solid jam from Boyle out to McCausland. It's still heavy west of McKnight all the way to 270 Clarkson to Topgolf, 94 most of the way to Winghaven, and 364 out to Highway 70. South 170 stop-and-go pockets, Olive down to 64. South 270 jam, south to 364. Most of the way to Manchester. It's slow to Doherty Ferry and 44 to Gravois. Westbound 44 from Laclede Station out through Elm and then west of Lindbergh out through Balls is all slow due to earlier problems. Southbound 55 Arsenal down through Bates is bumper to bumper, slow approaching Richardson, and stop-and-go pockets north of Imperial, a solid jam from M all the way down through to about McNutt where we had that crash in the right lane. Westbound 30 is backed up 141 to Summit. Southbound 141 is either slower stop and go from Ladue all the way down to 44, just either heavy, sometimes bumper to bumper. What a mess there. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing a checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, Rush Hour Sports, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here on a Tuesday. Hot stove in it for now. Maybe a little Blues talk later on in the show. Although it's going to tie into this rebuild theme. Because it may be beyond obvious at this point after what we heard Army say today. He was pretty clear that nothing is good. Nobody is living up to expectations. He included the front office in that, so it's nice. But now it's on him and Steiner and those guys to actually do something about it because you can't just keep running this back.
He also said they would not sell 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you should do that. But
for some guys, I would.
Yeah, for some of them, I definitely would.
For some guys,
yeah.
I would like. I know we may get back to it real quickly. That's a comment that's going to get like a rah-rah reaction.
Right,
oh, good,
right,
he's not going to sell low.
He's not going to just dump salary.
No, dump it.
Yeah, he might.
Some of these guys are not winning players.
Yeah.
Get them out of here.
Yeah.
And try again.
Yeah. But we're going to have some more on that a little later. And it ties into this theme, right? We've been talking. Yesterday we had a comment. I'm not ripping the commenter either because I really think that I mean this, what I said last night when it was you and I and Bernie talking about this. Cardinals fans haven't done this. It's an area you're unfamiliar with. A lot of us that are fans of other teams are familiar with how this works and that you can't just put a time frame on it and say 5 years isn't good enough or 3 years we should be in a championship mode. You can't do it that way.
Right.
You can't put a time on it in advance. Now, eventually, there are going to be assessments. And if you get 4 or 5 years down the road and you're not in the mix, okay, well, then you got a problem and it's going to cost people their jobs. But if you're putting a time frame on it in your head now, you are going to be disappointed most likely.
And some of this is going to happen organically.
Yeah.
And I lived through it when I was covering the Milwaukee Brewers because I was right there when they started the David Stearns, Craig Counsell rebuild. And in let me make sure I have this right. In 2017, no, check that. In 2016, I was right, 2017. In 2017, they were very close to making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be another rebuild year where they were not supposed to be very good. And they ended up having a really competitive season. They got eliminated from the playoffs on the second to last day.
Yeah.
If the playoff format that we had right now would have been in existence, they would have been a playoff team. So organically, the team played better than they were expecting them to play, and that actually moved up their competitive timeline. And then that following offseason, they went and got Christian Yelich and Lorenzo Cain, and they went for it the next year. If they would have just had the year that they expected to have, they would not have made those moves, and it would have continued to organically build. So if the Cardinals, and Heimblum's talked about this a lot, Kevin, that if you go make good decisions, positive things are going to happen. If this team starts to overachieve, probably not this upcoming season, but say 2 years from now, that's going to give them the opportunity to maybe make some decisions that are going to be more fun for fans.
And I'm not trying to put an extended time frame on this either. I don't think you have to be 3 or 4 years down the road to be a contender. You could be sooner than that. It could be as soon as next year if the right things happen. But this is the point. You reassess it every year. You don't look at it now and say, by 2027, you better be this. Because it doesn't work that way. At the end of 2026, maybe that is a realistic thing.
Right.
If you see J.J. Weatherholt pop out and he's a star, and Doyle and Quinn Matthews, and they show up and they're good, and you're like, all right, maybe it's going to be faster. But there's also a developmental period that we don't know for sure when each guy is going to be the best version of themselves. I grew up in Detroit. I mean, I follow the Tigers forever. And the team that the position they're in now, they've made the playoffs 2 years in a row, but it's kind of ahead of schedule. They weren't planning on that. They weren't expecting it. They were, because their rebuild started when their current front office came in. Mm-hmm. And it's only 3 years into their run, so I think it's a fair comp. Year one, they weren't that good. Year two, they snuck in. Year three, they backed in because they blew the division lead. And now the expectation is to continue to get better, but their real window is probably still a year or two away with young guys joining what they have now. And I think that can be a reasonable thing for the Bloom Cardinals.
Sure.
Where in a year or two, you're in position where playoffs are realistic. Not just a pipe dream, not just a hope and a maybe, but realistic. And then later on, it becomes more of we are a, quote, championship contender.
Yeah.
But, Henry pointed this out on the chat. I mean, how many times have we seen these wild cards at 84, 85 wins go to the championship series or get to the World Series?
Yeah, it gets fluky in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, it's just weird.
Yeah, and you always want to put together the best possible team to give you the best possible chance, but that doesn't guarantee you. It's not always about the Dodgers. It's not. You put the Dodgers in the playoffs, this version of the Dodgers in the playoffs 10 times. I don't know how many times they're winning the World Series. Maybe it's 5 times.
Maybe it's 1. Maybe,
right.
Yeah, right.
So that's the point here. You want to put your best foot forward. This isn't. It's not just trying to get a piece of it by just sneaking into the playoffs and then having a hope.
Right.
There's two different things here. There's recognizing the fact that the playoffs are random. So once you're in, anything can happen, but also not using that as a philosophy that, hey, if we sneak in with 84 wins, we've got just as much of a chance to win the World Series as anybody. But that's not what I'm saying.
I do believe, and I think this is proven by teams like the Dodgers and others, the best path to winning a World Series is being in the playoffs 8 out of 10 years.
Yes.
Not going into 3-year runs and then having to rebuild because you sold all your assets and you used all your money. Like, sustained success is what it takes to really win World Series. Now, look how many years have the Dodgers won the division now?
I'd have to look.
It's like 10 years in a row, 11 years in a row, something like that. Well, they have two World Series in full seasons and one in 2020. Like, it's not like it took them a long time to actually get over the hump. And you watch the way that this worked, even for the Cardinals. The Cardinals won 2 World Series, not because those were the 2 best teams they ever put together.
No, they
were
were
not. But
not.
because they were in the playoffs almost every year for a long time. And so that matters. And in some of those years, you're going to be, we know we can be a World Series team, right? Some of those years, that's when you maybe go a little extra.
Right.
You go the extra mile in free agency. You make the trade of a prospect to get something that helps you now. But the goal is to establish a team that can be not aspires to the playoffs, but is going to be in the playoffs on a regular basis over an 8 to 10 year window. That's how you win a World Series.
And there are pieces you want to have. Like that was one of the problems with the 2022 Cardinals. And I really, really liked that team and thought they had a playoff run in them, but I didn't think they were a World Series team because I looked at the starting pitching and I said, this starting pitching,
the stoppers,
can't win a World Series.
Now, we're going to get a little bit more into the baseball side of things. We got a lot of comments coming in. We're going to start transitioning, and I think even comparing here the Blues and the Cardinals in this instance. We had a comment from Aaron that I'm going to throw up there when we come back about, he says, I'm a Blues and a Cards fan, and I live in disappointment. Buddy, you don't even know disappointment. You've got 3 World Series in your world in the last, 17, 18 years? Yeah. I'm sorry, 3 championships and a long run of contention. But I do want to get into, though, what a rebuild means. And I don't know. I really want to get into this because I feel like we here have not experienced enough of it in a long time. What the Blues did after the lockout was a real rebuild.
It was. Yeah.
That was terrible. This is not that, but it's also not good enough. We'll transition to that coming up here on KMOX.
At 5:30, this news update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It is a clear sky right now, 49 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 233 is adopted.
And with that, a slimmed-down St. Louis County budget is passed by council members today. They trimmed tens of millions of dollars off the original proposal submitted by County Executive Sam Page. Councilwoman Lisa Clancy, though, voted no.
My colleague said earlier that this council does not implement, that that's up to departments. This is true, but our biggest responsibility is to provide the resources for departments to implement what we pass so they can implement our policies with fidelity. Ultimately, cuts to essential services without a plan to build revenue. The revenue that it takes to provide a modern county government that serves us all is short-sighted and will cost us in the long run.
The county is dipping into RAM settlement funds to cover the remaining shortfall. The Edwardsville School Board voted without dissent last night to approve a separation package with its former district superintendent.
Board President Bob Patey declined to say what happened that led to Dr. Patrick Shelton's suspension in late September and now his departure, citing board moves are open to review through a Freedom of Information request. Patey then went on to affirm support for acting superintendent Alan Duncan.
We will rely heavily on Dr. Duncan to navigate the tactical and strategic challenges before us with the goals of ensuring District 7 is a school district of choice in this region.
Brad Choate, KMOX News.
When film and TV productions look at locations in Southern Illinois, they may have a hard time finding enough experienced crew members to hire locally, but a new training program at SIU Edwardsville will help to provide a workforce for the industry.
I just think that the opportunity to get hands-on experience is invaluable.
Teresa Pauley, broadcast engineer in the Mass Communications Department, says the program will prepare people for entry-level jobs such as production assistants. One of the main areas of training will be etiquette on set.
And this, I think, will give people a chance, too, to see, okay, this is what each position's doing, how to do it, how to not talk when mics are open, how to watch your body language, how to not step in front of a camera, all sorts of things.
SIUE is getting state grant money for 3 cohorts of 10 to 14 people each. They'll receive a paid stipend during the 80-hour training. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Read any good books this year? No, you're not alone. A recent survey shows fewer people are reading for fun in the U.S. Researchers say it's worrisome since reading can have a significant impact on our health and well-being. CBS's Jared Hill.
Over the past 20 years, reading for pleasure is down 40% among Americans 15 and older, according to a University of Florida survey. Study author Dr. Jill Sankey says the drop is concerning.
Other studies have shown associations between reading for pleasure and impacts on health like improved well-being, relaxation, stress reduction.
While the study didn't look at why fewer people are reading, researchers suggest it's likely due to a number of factors, including less leisure time, the rise in digital media, and less access to bookstores and libraries.
Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk for tonight, good night to curl up with a book. Some clouds of 35. For tomorrow, sunshine and a high of 55 degrees. Thursday, we've got some rain, so stay tuned tomorrow for the latest on that. Right now, clear sky, 49 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn
learned September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com during the Genesis Signature Event. Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where LendSeek comes in.
I needed $100,000 fast to keep up with inventory demands. LendSeek had me funded the same day I applied. Between their AI platform finding the fastest deal and a dedicated funding specialist guiding the process, it couldn't have been easier.
Our AI-driven platform matches your business with the right program from over 100 funders, up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with more than $500,000 in annual revenue, qualifying is simple. No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle. From lines of credit, term loans to revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply in minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Looking for a beautiful, all-inclusive place for your loved one? Happy holidays from Pine Valley Assisted Living. Secure a room between now and January 31st and take advantage of our move-in special. Enjoy affordable rates with absolutely no hidden fees. Experience the beautiful life at Pine Valley. Visit rspseniorliving.com today.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Give the best of Broadway right here in St. Louis. Muni season tickets are on sale now, just in time for the holidays. Our 2026 season includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. See all 7 shows starting at just $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
Traffic from the MichaelsFloorandOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Still some tough traffic out there, unfortunately. As traffic reports the service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. A crash southbound 55 just south of Arsenal, so it's backed up midway between Gravois and Arsenal there. Still a little busy. Gasconade, Bates. Big backup in Jefferson County. We're talking slow going from Imperial, Maine to M, and then jammed from M all the way down to that crash before McNutt, still out there in the right lane while I looked just a moment ago. Westbound 40 or 64, Kings Highway out to Clayton Skinkers backed up, but it's slow to Hanley. It's slow. Clayton Worson to 270, 94, most of the way to Winghaven, and 364 out to 70. Southbound 270 backs up south of 364, but it's still slow all the way to Doherty Ferry and 44 to Gravois. South 170 bogged down at Delmar. Eastbound 64 west of Spady all the way into Big Ben's heavy. Westbound 70, slow stuff at the city limits. There's slow traffic from the airport most of the way to 270, 79 through K after that. So it's pretty busy there. Southbound 141 south of Milldale, like Dutch Mill, all the way down into Valley Park. Some pretty heavy traffic running that way right now as well. At Penn Mutual, we believe life insurance is a central part of a sound financial plan that can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, Rush Hour Sports here on KMOX. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Tying the Blues and Cardinals together here, just in theory, right? Okay. Not practically. Like, they're not going to trade with one another, although Blues could probably use any change. Because the Blues have been in this kind of, and here's what I would say. I don't think the Blues have technically gone into a rebuild.
No.
They've done a retool. They're waiting for some younger players to develop. They're not getting into big free agent battles because they don't have the cap space to go do that at the top of the market. And there just aren't that many difference makers in free agency on a regular basis anyway. I don't know that I would call what they've done the last 3 or 4 years a true rebuild, because they haven't traded away proven players for draft picks and prospects to build for the long term. No, they've just kind of held pat.
Yeah.
And continue to draft and develop, and they do have good prospects, but nobody in their system is looking like a future top of the roster player, like a true number one centerman or a true 50-goal guy. There's no Connor McDavid. There's no guy to build around, so you need to build around it with depth. And unfortunately, what you have now, I think because you sat in the middle, isn't it interesting? Because I think the Blues kind of did what the Cardinals did, which is sat in the middle for too long. And now you're facing a choice. And will the Blues make the choice now of continuing down this path with Doug Armstrong moving into a different role next year and Alex Steen taking over as the general manager? Will they continue down this same path that they've been on, which is kind of the soft rebuild, which to me just meant they've been waiting it out. They haven't sold off pieces. Like, they didn't do a version of what the Cardinals are probably going to do with Brendan Donovan, or if not with him, a couple of other guys. And I think that we all said this with the Cardinals, and I feel I'm applying this to the Blues. Being in the middle is the worst place to be because there's no big path forward.
No, and the Blues don't have a path, and it's taken the Cardinals multiple years to see the path. They're just getting started on it. So that's what being in the middle did, that you weren't even able to see the path, certainly not even get on it.
Yeah, and I think that this is where the Cardinals are finally, and I think I've seen a fair number of messages. I try to click on all the good rumors by legitimate people, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're seeing Cardinals fans commenting, and in some of the, like in a couple of Katie Wu stories or on Derek Gould stories, you'll see comments. And I've started to see a few more saying things like, we're happy that at least it seems like the front office is being clear with what they're doing. as opposed to where it's been really kind of muddy the last few years. Not committing to a rebuild, but also not committing fully to putting together the best roster. That in between is bad. And some of it with the Blues is related to the financial structure of the sport. You have a salary cap, and you're basically at it.
Yeah, with guys who have no trade clauses.
And you gave everybody a no trade clause. So it's not as simple. Obviously, it's a lot easier. Where the Cardinals are, because you don't have a cap, you don't have a floor, and you don't have any of these guys that you're currently looking to deal. Sonny had to waive a no trade. Wilson has a no trade. But Donovan doesn't have one. Burleson doesn't have one. Newt doesn't have one. Most of the guys you're looking to move, you're free to move them at your will.
Right.
And I think the Blues are in a tougher spot. But do the Blues need? Army said today when talking about this, we don't want to sell at 50 cents on the dollar.
I'd sell at 50 cents on the dollar.
And you made it. I think you made that point a couple segments ago that it's like maybe it is time where the win is just clearing up salary cap space and accepting your fate, if you will, and maybe tell me if you think I'm crazy.
I do, but it might not be because of what comes out of your mouth.
Tell me if you think this is crazy. Okay. Let me rephrase. Your Honor, may I rephrase the question? Maybe it is in their best interest to be really, truly bad for a year or two and maybe get a franchise player at the top of the draft.
I don't think there's that many franchise players in hockey, period.
I agree, but
that's where I would disagree with you, because even if you have the overall number one pick in hockey's draft, you're not guaranteed of anything.
No, I agree. And every year's different, right? Some years are loaded and stacked. Some years are very thin. So I completely understand.
Yeah.
But if you're doing the second thing as well, which is clearing cap space, you then become essentially a clearinghouse for other teams for you to bulk up on assets, to get prospects, to get more draft picks.
They don't need more draft picks.
No, I get it. But what you're doing now isn't working.
It's not.
You're not likely to get into free agency. So if it means selling 50 cents on the dollar in terms of talent for talent, but you're actually saving cap space for the long term, maybe you take a bad contract now and give up a good player now, better player now, but in return for that, you're clearing up cap space in a year or two.
Yes.
And you're getting the picks or prospect young players that in positions of things that, like we're talking about with the Cardinals, buy as many tickets to the lottery as you can.
I think the comparison between the two are, like, if the Cardinals trade Brendan Donovan and don't get a really good return for him, I'm going to be kind of angry.
Agreed.
If the Cardinals trade Jordan Kyrou, I don't care what they get back for him.
I mean, I would say I care, but I care less.
I want that roster spot cleared.
Yeah.
And they can go replace the top-end roster spot however they want it.
Now, if I'm trading a guy like that, I want more. But I would be trading, you can have Bucci for 30 cents on the dollar.
Like that.
You know what I mean? Like the older the player, the better discount I'm going to give you in terms of talent I want back, because I just want to get rid of the contract. If I'm not going to be good, I don't want to be locked down.
There's nobody on that roster that would be traded that I care if it's a one-for-one sort of talent trade.
No, I get you. I totally get you. And I think Aaron made a good point here. I agree. It's what we're talking about. Blues and Cardinals are at the same level. Neither one has a star or studs. I think there could be stars for the Cardinals, and but we haven't seen them yet. Like, we haven't seen Weatherholt. I don't think. I don't know. I think we could say maybe Herrera has that ability offensively, but right now he's a one-dimensional player. Other than that, I mean, Mason Wynn's a defensive star, but not an offensive star at this point. So I get what he's saying. They don't have superstars. The Blues don't have a dude, and neither do the Cardinals yet. And the hope is that Weatherholt is that, Doyle is that, and the assets you continue to build up give you more shots at having those dudes, because those are the dudes you want to have inside, because those are the ones that cost you $200 million if you got to get them outside.
Right.
Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. More on this and a little more on the Blues coming up next on KMOX. Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is live here in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. So right now, new customers can bet $5 and then get $300 in bonus bets. Whether you win or lose that initial $5 bet, you get those $300 bonus bets either direction. And it doesn't matter what you're choosing, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, you can bet it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. I've been on it since the app launched years ago. I just couldn't play in Missouri until now. Now I get to, and you can do. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on the excitement, because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. Remember, 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Oh, we still got problems out there. Southbound 55, you got that crash just south of Arsenal. It's backed up at Gravois down in Jefferson County, where it's still jammed. It's better, but it's still jammed just south of M. Down to that crash, it's still blocked in the right lane before you get to McNutt. We got a new crash eastbound 70 at Highway, just west of Highway K, involving a semi. Traffic's jammed back to about Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Westbound's backed up past the crash scene. Westbound 70 is also slow from the airport out to 270 and Zunbelt Cave Springs area. Eastbound 70, by the way, backed up east of our city through 270. Looks like an incident there. Southbound 270 bogs down Olive all the way down to almost Big Bend, and then south of 44 to Tesson Ferry. Northbound north of Manchester up to Olive is still pretty busy. Westbound 64 Kings Highway out to Big Bend is slow. There's still traffic heavy from K most of the way to Winghaven and Lake St. Louis Boulevard to 70, and downtown eastbound to 64 still jammed east of Grand. 44 slow at 55 getting across the Poplar. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Rush Hour Sports continues on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, a few minutes left here on Rush Hour Sports. We got Matt, Pauley, and Kevin Wheeler with you here on Rush Hour Sports, and Sports Open Line is coming up after. What are we looking at tonight?
We got a few things. Lynn Worthy's going to join us from the Post-Dispatch at about 6:20. 6:35, Tom Timmerman's going to join us. And at 7:05, we're going to talk with the voice of Missouri State football, Corey Riggs, because Missouri State is playing in a bowl game this week. They're in the Xbox Bowl. That's going to be coming up
they had
on
a good story
Thursday.
This year.
Fantastic story. First year in FBS football, and they weren't eligible for a bowl game because of the transition, but because there weren't enough bowl eligible teams,
they get a chance.
They get in. That's, I was kind of
essentially like the Notre Dames and the ones that bailed out probably helped them.
I think they were in before that. I don't think there were enough eligible teams.
Not enough winning records.
Yeah,
or 6-win teams.
Right. So, I mean, I was kind of against Missouri State moving out of the Valley, where we always have, we're all affectionate towards the Valley here in St. Louis. But for them to step into Conference USA and in their first year playing FBS football I believe they're at 8 wins. It's remarkable.
This is not related to them. But at some point, we gotta cut back on the Bulls. I mean, there are 94 teams going to Bulls, and that's not counting the teams that declined. And in the year 2000, there were 50 teams going to Bulls.
Like that Conan O'Brien in the year 2000.
It's like we've been expanding this too much. And how about this? As I wanted to continue the Blues thing, but I think we wore that out.
Okay.
I want to throw a proposal at you that I meant to do earlier in the month, but I figured this is a good time.
I actually disagree with what you just said. So,
oh, you don't like that?
No.
What if we change the Bulls though?
Okay.
So that a lot of the ones that are the superfluous ones are actually played in week 1 of the regular season and not played after the season.
No, I don't like that.
I love it.
Here's why. Because I get really utopian about things sometimes. I still view these 18 to 22-year-olds as 18 to 22-year-olds and not professional football players, which I realize that's a wrong premise because there's people making millions of dollars playing college football. But I like the idea of the 18 to 22-year-old getting the bowl experience. I like the idea of a fan base getting to go to a different place and have the bowl experience. And also, you know what? I like the idea that for the better part of 2 weeks, you can turn your TV on at any moment in time, and there can be a random game that's going on. We've got bowl action tonight. I think there might have been 2 games today.
I don't even know them.
Yeah, but you know what?
You don't either.
If you're
going to have to look it up, which is the point that I'm about to make.
But if I'm flipping through the channels and I say to myself, you know what? I want to watch Troy and Jacksonville State play in the Salute to Veterans Bowl.
You don't, and you know it.
I might turn it on for a little bit tonight.
You will not.
I will send a screenshot to you if I
now
have
you're
this
going to
thing
do
on.
it just to tell me I'm wrong. Because here's the problem is these stadiums are empty. Nobody goes to these secondary and these tertiary bowl games. Nobody is paying any attention to it. They actually cost the schools money. They actually lose money, which is why some bowl teams turn down bowls, because it's costing you money. If you made it the first game of the year and you're putting them, so you're giving fan bases a whole year to plan to go someplace cool for the opening game. You're going to sell more tickets.
You can already do that, though.
The game can mean more because the season's not over yet. It's opening. It's beginning. Everybody's excited. It's not, well, we're 7-6. And also, sorry, but 6-win teams, a 500 team shouldn't be rewarded. You're 500.
Okay. If you want to have more of these neutral site week 1 games that they already have a bunch of, it feels like there's 9 games that are played in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the first 2 weeks of the football season.
Yeah.
If you want to have more of that, I'm not going to argue that, but I don't want that in replacement of the bowl system.
Yeah. Make those the bowls. Play them at those bowl sites. You'll get more tourists. You'll get more meaning in the games because teams are just beginning and they're fired up and it's a whole new year rather than, well, we're just running out the clock and waiting for half our team to hit the portal. Which is another problem with so many guys hitting the portal. Teams going.
Yeah, I think they got to fix the calendar. The calendar is
100%.
Screwed up.
All right, buddy. Have a good show tonight.
Thanks, man.
Matt Pauley's got Sports Open Line for you next here on KMOX.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Marilyn Facer recommends 3-day kitchen and bath.
Working with Dave was an absolute delight. Once everything was scheduled, everything went perfect.
Have you ever had a remodel done before?
About 25 years ago, and it was a nightmare.
Was 3-day kitchen and bath on time?
There was no delays. Everything was on time. All the deadlines were met. Everything came at once.
Would you recommend 3-day kitchen and bath to your friends and neighbors?
I highly recommend them to anybody.
Top quality products and craftsmanship in 3 days or less. Call 3-day kitchen and bath. Always on time as promised, at the price promised, and your job comes with complete satisfaction guarantee. No ifs, ands, or buts. Visit their website at 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-day kitchen and bath.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two, with fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra and their monumental tour, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, to Enterprise Center December 23rd at 3 p.m.
Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. TSO, timeless and everlasting. Don't miss the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Lost Christmas Eve, produced by Live Nation. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
Traffic from the MichaelsFloorandOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we still got this crash southbound 55 just south of Arsenal. A very short backup there. And unfortunately, we still have the crash down in Jefferson County southbound 55 just before McNutt. The right lane's still closed. That means only the left lane, but it is a solid jam on South 55 at Highway M. And then we have this crash involving the tractor trailer eastbound 70 between Bryan Road and K. Left lane's closed. Eastbound 70 is jammed back to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Westbound 70 in the area is jammed approaching K out past that crash scene. South 270 Olive down through Doherty Ferry 44 to Tesson Ferry. That's all still busy. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
Nick Reiner being charged.
2 counts of first-degree murder.
Search for the Brown University shooter.
We're asking the public to look if you have any camera systems.
White House response to a Vanity Fair article.
We should be giving fewer interviews to mainstream media outlets.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Rob Reiner's son is formally charged after Sunday's discovery of the bodies of the actor-director and his wife in their master bedroom. 32-year-old Nick Reiner faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and a special allegation of using a dangerous and deadly weapon. In this case, L.A. District Attorney Nathan Hochman says a knife.
These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty,
which Hochman says has not yet been decided. CBS News Los Angeles' Gwen Baumgartner.
Nick Reiner's defense attorney, Alan Jackson, was seen leaving the house Tuesday and said earlier his client could not be in court due to medical issues.
He has not yet been medically cleared, so he will be here hopefully tomorrow.
Reiner was last seen with his parents Saturday night at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. 2 sources there say the family argued.
A suspect is still on the loose 4 days after the shooting deaths of 2 students and the wounding of 9 others at Brown University. CBS's Katrina Kaufman on the release of a new enhanced video of the suspect.
We see him slowly walking around on these streets as he made his way to that engineering building where the shooting ultimately took place.
Providence Chief of Police Oscar Perez.
You want to focus on the body movements, the way the person moved their arms, the body posture, the way they carry the weight.
President Trump says on social media he is ordering a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers into and out of Venezuela, ramping up pressure on embattled President Nicolas Maduro. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles pushes back against a Vanity Fair article.
For starters, the Vanity Fair article quotes Susie Wiles as critical of Attorney General Pam Bondi's handling of the Epstein case and describes Vice President J.D. Vance as a conspiracy theorist.
Sometimes I am a conspiracy theorist, but I only believe in the conspiracy theories that are true.
Speaking in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Vance defended Wiles.
I've never seen her be disloyal to the President of the United States, and that makes her the best White House Chief of Staff.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also defended Susie Wiles.
This is, unfortunately, another example of disingenuous reporting,
saying Wiles' words were taken out of context. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump will deliver a live primetime address tomorrow night at 9 Eastern to discuss his accomplishments and future plans. Stocks closed mixed on Wall Street. Now this.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
At 6:03, we've got a mostly cloudy sky. Right now, 46 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Motion carries. Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 233. Is adopted.
And with that, a slimmed-down St. Louis County budget is passed by the council, trimming tens of millions of dollars off the original proposal from County Executive Sam Page. A no vote from Councilwoman Lisa Clancy, though.
My colleague said earlier that this council does not implement, that's up to departments. This is true, but our biggest responsibility is to provide the resources for departments to implement what we pass so they can implement our policies with fidelity. Ultimately, cuts to essential services without a plan to build revenue The revenue that it takes to provide a modern county government that serves us all is short-sighted and will cost us in the long run.
I'm Sean Malone. Ahead of the county council voting to approve the trimmed-down budget, Dr. Kanika Cunningham, the county health director, decried the process behind how the council determined how much they would cut. She said she did not meet with the council members ahead of their budget presentation.
I haven't seen the bill. I actually learned about the cuts listening to the media press conference yesterday. So I think that's unfortunate as a department head that I have not even been afforded the luxury to know what the cuts are so I can plan appropriately.
County Executive Sam Page also said he had not seen the proposed budget before it was passed.
The buzz out of the Vatican is that Pope Leo may soon accept the resignation due to age of New York Archbishop Timothy Dolan, a St. Louis native. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer tells us what that could mean.
Cardinal Dolan was appointed Archbishop of New York in 2009 by Pope Benedict. He submitted his resignation in February after reaching the mandatory bishop's retirement age of 75. It's up to the Pope when to accept it and appoint his successor, with that widely expected to come in the next few days. Strong rumors in the Big Apple right now point to an Illinois bishop as the leading candidate to replace Cardinal Dolan. He's Bishop Ron Hicks of Joliet. Bishop Hicks is 58 years old. He was born in Harvey, Illinois, and was installed as the Bishop of Joliet in 2020 by Pope Francis. No word from Cardinal Dolan, a former auxiliary bishop here, as to his retirement plans and will he return to his native St. Louis. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Planning for the future is what the Gateway Arch Park Foundation will be doing in 2026. Executive Director Ryan McClure says they'll be looking at expanding into East St. Louis. He says in the next 15 years or so, the Poplar Street Bridge and the I-44 depressed lanes will also need repairs and improvements. So
now is the time to study what should happen around that. What, can we be rethinking the I-44 corridor that separates the Arch and the riverfront from downtown St. Louis.
And at 6:06, Roger Brand at the traffic center. That 44 depressed lane used to be called I-70. A lot of people still say 70.
Yeah, it took me a while to get figure that out too, Michael. But yeah, and in fact, we'll just start downtown and we'll talk about eastbound 64. We still have a jam from about Jefferson going across. Actually, maybe it's closer to Compton, but it goes across the Poplar Street Bridge. We had a crash. The left lanes are closed, by the way, at the Illinois end of the bridge eastbound through Monday. So it's going to be this way every afternoon, I'm sure. But they also had a crash in the right lanes, which were the ones that were open at Barack Obama Avenue. They just cleared it, but there's still a jam there. They also cleared that crash. It looks like South 55 just south of Arsenal, a little heavy there. However, Jefferson County still a mess. That right lane still closed. Southbound 55 before McNutt. It's a solid jam south of Highway M down into the area right now. Westbound 64 Hampton headed out through Bellevue's kind of busy. West of K midway out to Winghaven. We got a crash in O'Fallon. Eastbound 70 between Bryan Road and K had a crash involving a semi in the left lane. It's jammed back past Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Westbound 70 Gawkers are jammed at TR Hughes. South 270 Ladue to 64, Manchester to Doherty Ferry, 44 down through Tesson Ferry is slow. South 170 bogs down at the Parkway. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Looks like autumn has arrived, and all fall long, a Metro Transit Day Pass is still just $5, which makes you just one click away from your one-day mental health fall getaway. Plan your trip at metrostlouis.org.
Delightful temperatures for the middle of December around town. We've got some clouds around overnight tonight. Evening temperatures, think mainly in the 40s, and 35 will do it for the low. On Wednesday, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures much like today, about 55 for the high. Wednesday night, clouds sweep in, 45 degrees. Thursday, clouds with periods of rain, a couple of rumbles of thunder, especially in the morning and early afternoon on Thursday. It turns quite windy, and temperatures will be in the 40s much of the day, but we should be in the low 40s by late in the day. We're staying above the freezing point. However, Thursday night, partly cloudy and cold, 21 for the overnight low. The northwest flow opens up again. However, by the time we get to the freezing point, late Thursday and into Thursday night, the atmosphere will be dry. On Friday, sunny, let's call it cold, but nothing extreme, and 38 degrees. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Right now it's 46 degrees downtown at the Arch, but the feels like is 38. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Come on, let's get going now.
From KMOX Sports.
We're primed and ready. All day, baby. Man, let's go.
This is the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX, our only full 2-hour program this week, as we'll have short shows the rest of the week. Tomorrow for SLU basketball, Thursday for Thursday Night Football. Friday is going to be Countdown to Opening Day show. We'll be delaying that by a day this week because of Thursday Night Football. So this is your one chance to have a 2-hour Sports Open Line. Glad to be with you. As always, if you want to chime in on what we're talking about, you can do so by calling or texting 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or you can leave a comment on the video stream if you happen to be watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So that is the way that you get in contact with the program today. Here's what we've got coming up. A few guests are going to be joining us in about 10 minutes. We're going to be joined by our friend Lynn Worthy, sports columnist with the Post-Dispatch and STL Today. We'll talk Cardinals, probably get a little Blues in there as well. Later on this hour, Tom Timmerman, also from the Post-Dispatch and STL Today, is scheduled to join us. We'll get his thoughts on City SC making the announcement on a new head coach. So they once again are putting together the new leadership structure over at City. What does Tom think about the announcement that was made today? We'll talk with him about that at 7:05. So just about a little bit less than an hour from now, we're going to talk with Corey Riggs, Director of Broadcasting with Missouri State Sports, as he is the play-by-play announcer for football on radio, and he's going to be on the call of the Xbox Bowl coming up later on this week. As Missouri State, they've got an opportunity to play in a bowl game, and we'll see if they can come up with a win. They match up against Arkansas State from Frisco, Texas on Thursday evening, and that's a big thing for Missouri State athletics. So we will talk with him. And we'll also hear a little bit later on in the program from Blues coach Jim Montgomery. He spoke with the media earlier today, and we'll play back some of what he had to say. So that's a kind of a rundown of what's going to be coming up on the show today. Still no official word from the Cardinals regarding Dustin May. And there are things that do have to happen. There's physicals to go through. There's a lot. But I am more and more convinced that they may be slow playing this signing because they think that there's an opportunity to maybe work through some other things and clear a 40-man roster spot in other ways other than signing Dustin May, losing, being forced to remove somebody from the 40-man roster, and then a few days later, you trade away a Brendan Donovan, you trade away a Giorgio Romero, you trade away a Wilson Contreras, and all of a sudden you've got an open 40-man roster spot where if you just would have been able to wait a little bit on Dustin May, that you might not be in that spot. Now I would assume it's not a wait forever type scenario, but I would think that that's part of what's going on right now, and just at some point they will announce Dustin May, and we'll see when that's going to happen. Major League Baseball overall, we're seeing a few more things start to move forward. The Cubs made a move today as they bring back Caleb Thielbar, as he's going to be back with the club. He really pitched well for the Cubs this past year, had a 2.64 ERA in 67 games. So the Cubs are trying to really shore up their bullpen, and that's a big part of who's going to end up winning the NL Central this upcoming season. Just what the bullpen's going to end up looking like. There are some teams that have done better than others when it comes to bullpens. There are teams that have done better than others when it comes to protecting leads. I would contend the Cardinals have only won as many games as they have won as a result of the really good bullpen work, both from just a performance standpoint of the actual relief pitchers, and also I think from a decision-making process and a usage standpoint of Oliver Marmol, the way he's been able to maneuver the bullpen. I always say this, like there are people who don't like Oliver Marmol. I'm well aware of that. Hosting this show, that is something that has been made incredibly clear to me. I think even, not all of them, but I think even some of the individuals who are not fans of Oliver Marmol can recognize the fact that he is pretty good managing a bullpen, that is without a doubt one of his strengths and one of the things that he does particularly well, and he has shown that each of the last 2 years. Now, that doesn't mean that every move he makes is going to work. That doesn't even. There are times he makes moves that I disagree with a little bit on the way that he uses the bullpen, but I think he's pretty good at it. Just because you're not batting 1,000 doesn't mean you're not good at it. And we'll watch and see how the bullpen ends up playing out. And that's probably going to be an area that the Cardinals add to at some point in time. Now, we go back to what we just talked about with Dustin May, because you're probably holding up a little bit as a result of the 40-man situation, where the 40-man roster is completely full, and the club probably doesn't want to lose anybody off the 40-man roster here at this moment. There are some guys that they can remove from the 40-man roster if they need to, and if they're forced into that, I'm sure they'll be ready to do it. But for the most part, I would think that they would like to hold on to all, most if not all of the players who are currently on that 40-man roster. So all that being said, if you want to add to your bullpen, that's probably one where you're going to have to wait a little bit of time. And you're also probably going to be reacting to whether or not you move on from JoJo Romero. Because if you move on from JoJo Romero, there's going to be that much more pressure to add a veteran left-hander out of the bullpen. It's a right-handed. They just don't have a lot of lefties down there in the pen, and that's an area that they definitely can add to. All right, again, we've got a lot coming up on the program today. We are going to be joined by Lynn Worthy coming up in just a few moments. Later on this hour, Tom Timmerman. It's the All Post-Dispatch STL Today hour, and then next hour, Corey Riggs, broadcaster with Missouri State. He'll be on the call for the Xbox Bowl on Thursday night when Missouri State looks to win a bowl game for the first time in the program's history, playing their first year as a member of FBS football. Again, if you want to join us, 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. We'll take a break, have more in just a moment. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
1965 was a year of progress in St. Louis.
There when St. Louis celebrated.
It would stand higher than any monument in the land.
What's that? Alarm whistle. I don't know. Steamboats, I guess, celebrate.
Finally, 32 years after Luther Ely Smith began forming an image of a revitalized St. Louis riverfront, the Gateway Arch was complete.
And atop the final section, a big American flag blowing freely in a brisk wind.
It represents a very important part of our national history.
It's a new era for St. Louis, and millions of people will be coming to view this engineering and architectural wonder.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Competitive rates to help you save more and borrow smarter. Visit togethercu.org.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
No one remembers the tie, the sweater, or the pair of socks they received last year for the holidays, but they will remember the year they learned how to play the piano. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music, and every year in January, Lacefield Music opens their exciting and innovative 8-week adult piano classes to the public for the incredible price of only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. This class is usually $100, but in January, the classes will be $29.99 for all 8 weeks. With Lacefield Music's adult piano classes, you will learn how to read music, play your favorite songs, and you will play with both your right and your left hand the very first week. This year, instead of buying your loved one more things, buy them an experience and fulfill the dream of learning to play the piano. Class sizes are limited and are filling fast, so call 636-778 2070 for more information, or go to lacefieldmusic.com. That's lacefieldmusic.com to sign up.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
This holiday, give the gift that lasts all season long. Cardinals ticket packs are on sale now, starting at 5, 6, and 10 games. All packs include 2026's top games and favorite giveaways. Backed by popular demand, choose from the opening day pack or the bobblehead pack. Check out the Cubs pack, weekend pack, or apparel pack. There's a pack for everyone. Find your perfect gift right now at cardinals.com/tickets.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and the cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. This holiday season, give the gift that lets them feel it for themselves. Opening day at Busch Stadium. It's more than baseball. It's an STL tradition. Opening day tickets are on sale now at cardinals.com/tickets.
This is Ozzie Smith. I'll see you at Busch Stadium.
Hello, I'm John Rooney. Congratulations to KMOX on 100 years strong, truly making KMOX the voice of St. Louis.
It's a Great Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. We appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us today. We're very happy to welcome on to the program. He is our friend from the Post-Dispatch and STL Today. He is a sports columnist. He is Lynn Worthy. Lynn, thanks for taking some time with us today. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to be with you.
As a former baseball beat writer, were you glad not to be at the baseball winter meetings where it was 3 days of waiting for something to happen that nothing actually ever did?
No, I wouldn't say I was glad not to be there. It's always one of those events that you sort of almost, your calendar revolves around and everybody's in the same place and all that sort of thing. But from the aspect of, the off season is the off season. So you're always waiting for things that you're not sure are going to happen or when they're going to happen. And maybe they'll look differently than what you actually thought. And then obviously, shortly after the winter meetings, there's a move that kind of happened, but it hasn't yet officially happened. Mm-hmm. So there's always things.
Part of me wonders, and I've openly wondered this, are they slow playing the Dustin May thing, thinking that they're close on one of these trades and they don't want to lose somebody off the 40-man roster? So if they slow play the official signing of May, maybe they can make that after they trade away a player and they have an open 40-man spot. Do you think I might be on the right path on that?
I tend to think so. I mean, when a deal is agreed upon and then there's this delay, you start wondering, okay, is something going wrong? Is there something with the physical, especially a guy who's had injury? But at the same time, it feels like Heim's been pretty open about them looking at different things, gauging interest in some of their guys. I think just this past weekend on your station, him talking with Tom Ackerman, it sounded like, maybe even within this week something could happen. So that makes me lean towards, okay, maybe there really is, a trade that, they could finalize within the same time period, in which case then it's like, well, you add this guy to the 40-man as a free agent, you have to let somebody go. And then if you make a trade that where you're talking about prospects or guys that don't have to go in the 40-man, then you potentially lost a guy because you couldn't, just for a matter of logistics of a day or two. So that's why it makes me think that maybe that is what's going on.
There's been all kinds of reports and speculation about the kind of return that the Cardinals could potentially get for Brendan Donovan. And recent reports have started naming, specifically from Seattle and San Francisco, some of the top prospects in those organizations. What do you think at the end of the day is going to be the kind of value that the Cardinals can get for a Donovan?
So it's funny because it was late in September. I actually had written a column where I said that I thought Donovan would be the best play for them with Donovan. The way he'd help them the most would be to stay with them, and talked about his experience, his versatility, consistency, the fact that he can, he can move him around. And as they're trying to figure out how the rest of the pieces fit together, he makes everything fit because of that. He's also got that link to the last, Yachty Albert year. And in my mind, I did not think that the return was potentially what we've been hearing lately. And so, I completely stand behind that, especially at that time. And I still think that's right. But at the same time, I'm like, well, if we're talking about a top 50 prospect and another prospect, or a guy who could potentially compete for a starting rotation spot this season, and another prospect, then you gotta look at that. So, again, I thought Donnie would have been a piece that you could hold on to and give you value, even though you're in this rebuild. But if you're talking about, like the guy that's been reported, I think, by The Athletic from Seattle, Montaz, and just reading some of his background from Baseball America, if he's the type of power prospect that they're touting, and that's the type of guy, and somebody else, then you got to really look at that one. I don't. And again, names get put out there. You don't know for sure how serious that is, if that's really what the return looks like. But if that's a possibility, then you got to explore that. And if that's, if you're talking about a guy, I think Baseball America's write-up had compared him to, and because he had trained with Alvarez, Yordan Alvarez's trainer or swing coach, and compared it that way. If you're talking about a guy like that, especially where some of the power prospects they've had in recent years obviously are still, haven't quite found it. But if you can add a guy like that to your system, that changes the outlook on that a little bit.
Before we get you out of here, I want to talk Blues for just a moment. And you wrote a column recently that had more of a positive spin about the reaction that the team had to some things that were going on in the physical play and so forth. But then they come back out and they lose yesterday to the Predators 5-2. Doug Armstrong pulled local media aside today and had kind of a real world conversation with them on where this team is at. It just feels like every single time something is there that gives you a little bit of hope, they very quickly are able to get rid of that hope with a bad performance.
Yeah, it just seems like they're kind of stuck in this middle ground where, obviously they haven't played well enough to make you think that, that they're a contending team. They haven't played well enough to make you think that what you saw at the end of last season was, what this team really is. At the same time, you've had injuries. You've had, it's been one thing after another. I think I wasn't out there today for practice, but just reading what my colleague Matthew DeFranks had written, like Doug Armstrong pointed to sort of, some of the, in 1 month, maybe it's goaltending. Another month, you got some issues with, underproducing forward players, and then you get injuries piling up. So it's like it's a moving target in some ways. And then on top of that, I think there's just a real question about this core group of players and whether or not they have to shake that up. And it's still December, so there's not necessarily a motivation for a lot of other teams to make those moves, the ones that you'd have to, be dealing with. So it's just sort of, it feels like they're kind of stuck right now. And the only thing that you can really hope for is that they start playing better, that they at least become a little bit consistent in the group that they have, and then go forward from there. But even that has not been easy to come by in these recent games.
It's really challenging for me to talk about them, Lynn, because I have eyes and I can watch them play, and it leaves a ton to be desired. but then I can bring up the standings page and I see that they're only 4 points out of a playoff spot, and they can make that up in 2 weeks if they need to. So everything that they wanted to accomplish when the season got started is there for the taking. They just aren't playing consistent enough hockey to get there.
Yeah, and like you say, it's not like the season's not over for them by any means yet, and they could still make a run. It's just you're not seeing the things that would give you the encouragement that there's a run in there, just because they can't seem to string together. They still, I don't think, have won 3 games in a row. So you to think that they're going to go on this run is that's a bit of faith that I don't think they've earned at this point. And again, like I say, that core group just over, really the last couple of seasons, whether it's been coaching changes, they've made some changes in terms of personnel adding to, whether that's, the Broberg and Holloway or bringing in Fowler. And then in this off season, they've made these changes to the group with that core group still there, and it's still not consistent. It makes you think that, well, maybe this is the year that they have to shake some of that up so that they can maybe put things in place for going forward with some of these young guys now in the mix as well when they're healthy.
I'm not a hot take guy, but when I saw today that Doug Armstrong said that they're not going to sell for 50 cents on the dollar, my reaction is sell 50 cents on the dollar. Clear the cap space, clear the roster spots. This group is not going to win you anything of significance. So move on from some of these guys in whatever way you need to, even if the return isn't great, and give your chance to kind of rebuild the core of the roster.
Well, there's 2 things there. One is, you're never going to, even if you're going to sell it for 50 cents on the dollar, you're not going to come out and say it. It's, it's sort of like the people say, well, Heimblum said they're not going to release, Nolan Arenado, which I don't think they necessarily will. But even if that is an option, you don't put it out there because then you can't trade him. You can't expect to actually get anything back if your public posture is like, yeah, well, we might just let him go. Then nobody is going to make that deal. And if you're out there saying, well, yeah, we just need to shake things up and get what we can get, then how are you going to actually negotiate a trade if you're like, yeah, we'll take 50 cents on the dollar? So one part of it is posturing. The other part of it is, I think it's still somewhat early for them to, and with all the injuries, to really have a gauge on what this looks like. But I think as you get closer to that trade deadline, that tune may change, especially depending on how things unfold on the ice in these next couple of weeks.
He is Lynn Worthy. You read him in the Post-Dispatch and at STLtoday.com, working as a sports columnist. Lynn, really appreciate you taking some time. If we don't talk to you before then, have a very Merry Christmas, and I hope to see you very soon.
Well, thank you for having me, and same to you. I hope all is well.
Awesome. Very good. That is Lynn Worthy joining us on the program, and we appreciate him taking some time with us. We're going to go from one Post-Dispatch writer to another because City SC, they have a new head coach. What should we know about this guy? We're going to ask Tom Timmerman. That's next. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40, and they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. 2025 was a turning point for America. House Republicans didn't just talk about the challenges facing our country, we delivered real solutions. I was proud to stand beside President Trump to deliver historic tax cuts, secure our border, and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. This year, my office helped constituents by solving over 500 cases and returning to them nearly $1.8 million. I'm Congressman Bob Onder, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
It's men's Billikens basketball Wednesday night as they face Bethune-Cookman. Pre-game 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's Gray Bar Sports Open Line rolls on right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. Earlier today, City SC officially announced something that had been reported about a day earlier. They have a new head coach. His name is Yohan DeMay, and he comes over to City SC after most recently he was working as an assistant coach with the Columbus Crew. So unlike the last time that they had to make a hire and they went with somebody who had a more international background, they bring in somebody who has been working in Major League Soccer. To talk through this, we're very happy to welcome back onto the program. Does an outstanding job covering City SC and doing a whole lot of other things as well for the Post-Dispatch and STL Today. He is Tom Timmerman. You follow him on Twitter at TomTim, TIMM on the Twitter handle. Tom, thanks for taking some time with us today. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, man. It's funny, I'm listening, in there's a SLU basketball promo
there before this segment. It's like, wait, I'm gonna be there tomorrow for the Bethune-Cookman game. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll see if we have time. We might be able to throw a little SLU basketball here at the end, but this is a big deal. This is another new direction for this team, and Corey Ray coming in as the new sporting director. What's your kind of just overall general takeaway on Yohan DeMay becoming the new head coach for City SC?
Yeah, I mean, it's their fifth head coach if you include interims, and we're going to be 4 seasons now. So that's a lot. Yeah, DeMay is young. He's 35. He's actually younger than David Critchley, who he's replacing. So he's got a track record, but the times he was a head coach, I mean, it was the interim coach the first year of Cincinnati when they were terrible, and so he has a terrible record, and then 2 games in their second season. So it's hard to get a feel, for his track record, and so much is going to depend on the players, because certainly there's been a lot of coaches through here that have had a tough time. But he's one of those things that the team kind of needs. He's a young, vibrant guy who has worked with a lot of good players and a very good coach. Wilfred Nancy, the coach at Columbus, was considered one of the best coaches in the league. So he's got a good pedigree as far as that goes. And now he's got to try to turn it into something. And we'll find out how that goes. He's going to have the support of management. He's worked with Corey Ray before. But what that means as to how long he lasts, about 2 years is about the lifespan for a lot of coaches. So we'll see. But, he is going to, I think, bring something to this team. And he's actually one of the things that the team needs, which is someone who can be the face of the franchise and go out there and because I think this club has lost the enthusiasm of a lot of the fan base, just the way the last 2 years have gone. And so that's something that I think he will be, important. He knows the league. He's been in the league since really 2019, so 5 years in the league. He's been in North America for about 10 years. So, he knows the market. He knows, how the league works. And I think he can relate to people far better than Olaf Melberg ever did.
From a style standpoint, how much does it change moving forward, do you think?
It shouldn't change much. I mean, the team was quite adamant that they wanted someone that the team's identity would be the high-pressing style, and that he would keep, whoever they hired would keep that going. So that is kind of a given from day one. But they said that one of the things they like about him is his ability to work on other on-ball stuff, because the rap against the high-pressing style is that it works in the regular season, but it doesn't work in the playoffs when you're playing good teams. And we saw that with Philadelphia this year, and Bradley Carnell, who had the high-pressing style that had them get the best record in the league. But when they got to the playoffs, they did not get far, and that's because you're playing better teams, and that's when you have to be able to do things on the ball. And the team has said that is something that stood out to them during the hiring process, was his ability to get the team to also play an on-ball style, that would help them win games when they're in those situations when a pressing style and forcing turnovers isn't enough.
You answer this question a little bit by saying what you just said, that the style isn't going to change that much. But that being said, you have a new sporting director, you have a new head coach. How much of this is an organizational reset?
Well, Diego Gigliani, the team president, has made it clear that the high pressing style is what they want the team's identity to be. But it's in some ways it's not City. Well, it all depends on how you want to define City 2.0. If Melberg was City 2.0, or was Critchley, where that change is happening. In some ways, it's going to be back to 1.0, or maybe this is 1.5. That it's the high pressing style with better on ball stuff, which was what Carnell had hoped to do in the second season and didn't really take place, but that they wanted to do more on ball stuff. So it's a difficult balance as to where this goes, and we're going to have to see how it actually plays out. I mean, right now it's going to be tough to make changes because right now it's kind of the same players. I mean, they have not added anyone new, and that is going to be Corey Ray's task now as the offseason picks up is how he's going to change the character of this team with players. Because right now, I mean, there's nobody new on this team. The MLS draft is on Thursday, but that's not a place where you get players that change the identity. And then it's going to be, training camp opens in a month, what they can do on the winter transfer market to bring in new players to make things happen. Or can they, roll the dice and hope they don't have players get injured like they have in every other year with this team.
Is it true that in-season transfer market is really the more impactful one than the winter one?
It certainly is. I mean, it's where you can get better players. The problem, and this is one of the reasons behind the change of the schedule, is that, you can there's more players available and better players available in the summer window, but with the way the MLS schedule was, you'd get them for 10 games, and so you did not maximize what you would get, and it wasn't until the next season that they would help. So it is going to be tough for him to find really game changers in the European or South American markets in that time. It's a matter of, can they get other players from MLS, or can they find that, diamond in the rough, in the European market. But Louis Fanenfield must have told me a dozen times how hard it was on that winter transfer window to get players, because that's a time when teams want to get rid of players that they don't like rather than players who are out of contract and can really help your team.
By all accounts, David Critchley did a very nice job, and he certainly was considered for this job, doesn't get it. Where does he go moving forward? I know in your story about it, you mentioned the fact that the organization would like him to stick around in a different role. How probable is that?
It'll be tough. It'll be what David can find out there. If there are other teams that will hire him as an assistant coach or, whatever that is, that's something I would think he would be interested in. I mean, he loves the franchise. They gave him this chance, which, was really a big reach on their part to give it to him, and they supported him and they would like him to stay. Now it's, could he be an assistant coach on this team? That will be DeMay's call as to how that works. Would he want to go back to being the City 2 coach? He might find that being, after he's had this taste of being the big guy running a team, does he want to go back to the second team after his time with the first team? I don't know. And that is something that may depend on what is out there, in the MLS market for him. I mean, he did a great job, and I think it would not have been bad, for this team to have hired him. I think he would have been, had the support of a lot of players. And obviously, DeMay has a resume which is longer in the league. I mean, Critchley's MLS resume is, the 15 games he was, or the 19 games he was head coach. Obviously DeMay been in the league longer. But, he's a guy that deserves a chance somewhere on a first team. And I think that'll be a question of how the City SC first team coaching staff plays out. But you couldn't though also blame DeMay for being awkward about having the guy he's replacing being on his staff. Yeah. So at the same time, DeMay was in this situation in Cincinnati twice where he was interim coach, and I don't know that he was a candidate for the job either of those times, and he was kept on the staff by his successors. So, he knows the situation, Critchley is in.
Couple more minutes with Tom Timmerman from the Post-Dispatch. It's a little bit older news now, but it's the first time we've talked to you since then. Were you surprised that maybe not that John Hackworth left the organization, but he left the organization for what to me felt like a bit of a step back, taking a college job at Navy?
One of the last times I talked with John during the season, when he was when he had like 3 jobs, he was technical director, he was coaching City 2, and he was the interim sporting director. And I said, is there any interest for you in, letting Critchley take back this over and you could be the sporting director? And he said, no, I love to coach. I mean, coaching is what I want to do. And in a lot of ways, college coaching is perfect for John Hackworth because, and especially coaching at the Naval Academy, because they don't have to worry about NIL there. That's not an option at the service academies. They're not, they're already getting a free ride, but it's not like they're paying players to come. So it's perfect. He doesn't have to deal with the headaches that every other college coach has to do. He loves the things like the Naval Academy. That's really up his alley. And I remember on the first day he got hired at City SC, I said, does this mean you're done being a coach, as you become director of coaching? He said, no, I think I still want to be a coach. If an MLS job came along, yes, but I think he's going to be – the Naval Academy is the perfect place for John Hackworth. And yes, he might covet an MLS job somewhere down the line, but I think right now that's just a great place for him. And he loves that kind of atmosphere, and it's going to be good for him. I didn't know what it would take. I thought maybe he would stay at St. Louis just because he's got two sons that live in St. Louis now, and that would be something that would keep him here. But I think he's going to love it. I've been to the Naval Academy and been on campus. It's a wonderful place, and I think that team is already going to be better just by him being there. So he was going to get back into coaching some way, somehow. And, the tough thing when you get, interviewed for both the coaching job and the sporting director job, and you're in there as an interim basis and don't get it, it's tough to have a guy stay in that situation. So this is a great chance for him.
He is Tom Timmerman, covers City SC, also covers the Billikens, as he mentioned earlier. Billikens will be back in action coming up tomorrow evening against Bethune-Cookman. We'll have Tom back on to talk more Billikens in the future. But, Tom, thank you so much for taking the time. And if we don't talk to you before then, have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We appreciate you being with us today.
Thanks, Matt, and same to you. Take care.
Awesome. Very good. That's Tom Timmerman joining us on the program. We appreciate him spending a little bit of time with us. We are going to take a break. We'll come back. Again, we've still got a lot coming up on the show tonight. We'll talk after the top of the hour. We'll talk with Corey Riggs, broadcaster for Missouri State, as they get ready for their bowl game on Thursday night. We'll get a little more baseball in here, some more Blues hockey in here as well. We got a lot to do before we're done in about an hour and 10 minutes at 8 o'clock. You're locked into a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs, with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Winter Wonderland, presented by St. Louis County Parks and Recreation at Tillis Park, is now open through January 3rd. Enjoy more than 1 million dazzling lights with holiday characters and festive scenes. Whether you're carrying on a family tradition or starting a new one, you'll never see anything like Winter Wonderland at Tillis Park. Happy holidays from Kirkwood Fence, Tully Tire, Washington University Orthopedics, Restoration One, and Happy Roof. More info at KMOX.com.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen! So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. You could find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow. Billshappen.com is safe, secure, and all online. Just remember, when you need cash, go to billshappen.com. Billshappen.com for the cash you need now. Billshappen.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles the 25. We know your time is valuable.
That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com during the Genesis Signature event.
Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
Good morning. This is your Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm.
We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any 2 for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardee's. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
This is Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. As the year comes to a close, I want to thank our clients, colleagues, and communities for your trust and support. We're especially proud of the Stifel U.S. ski team. Their drive, resilience, and pursuit of their goals this winter reminds us what's possible when we stay committed. From all of us at Stifel, we wish you and your family a joyful holiday season and a new year filled with health, happiness, and success. Stifel, where success meets success.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
We are back at it just for a couple more minutes here in hour number 1. Hour number 2, we are going to talk with Corey Riggs, broadcaster with Missouri State. Again, they've got their bowl game that's going to be coming up on Thursday night in Texas, Frisco, Texas, the Xbox Bowl. They're going to match up against Arkansas State. I really believe that is one of the great sports stories in the state of Missouri that not enough people are talking about. The fact that Missouri State is in their first year playing FBS football, and they have found themselves into a bowl game, which is pretty darn impressive. So we're going to talk with Corey Riggs coming up in just a little while. Last thing, and I'm the last one to talk about what's going on with City SC in terms of like breaking down anything, but I get that they're going to try to keep the style somewhat the same as what they've had before, and that makes sense because the way the roster is, you're just not able to make major changes in the offseason. The major changes that you want to make occur in season. And that's part of why MLS, as much as I disagree with the decision by Major League Soccer to change their calendar, I think it's terrible. They're going to be competing with football and basketball instead of just competing with baseball, and they're going to be playing a lot of cold weather games. Like, I disagree completely with them changing their calendar here moving forward. They'll do one more year of the old one. I do recognize the reasons why they're doing it, and part of it is because they don't have the opportunity to have a normal off season when it comes to actually like building a roster, and that will change it a little bit. But this is another new era, complete new era of City SC with a new sporting director and a new head coach, new leadership. This absolutely is a new era for this team, and we'll see what happens because they came on, we all know the story of their first year of existence, how good it was. It hasn't been good since then. It's been terrible since then. And they're an expansion franchise, so it's okay that it's been terrible. Expansion franchises are expected to be terrible for a certain amount of time when they first come off the ground. That doesn't happen as much now in the leagues that we've seen expand, both MLS and NHL. But we'll see with this new group whether or not they're able to put some gas on the fire and get things going once again. We'll talk some Missouri State football. They're in a bowl game on Thursday. We'll do that next here on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
AI is playing a bigger role in car and truck development. Nissan is collaborating with British firm Monolith to use its AI platform to replace physical car testing, using the data to determine areas like tire wear, battery performance, and bolt tension before the new vehicles hit the test track. Tesla's Dojo supercomputer already compiles data on every virtual crash and stress test in one self-learning system. I'm Jason Brooks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
Give the best of Broadway right here in St. Louis. Muni season tickets are on sale now, just in time for the holidays. Our 2026 season includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. See all 7 shows starting at just $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A total blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers into and out of Venezuela is what President Trump says on social media he has just ordered. He also posts that Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have briefed Capitol Hill lawmakers on the deadly U.S. military strikes in the Caribbean. Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat from Connecticut, is dissatisfied with the explanations given.
We're all in favor of stopping the flow of narcotics, cocaine and fentanyl. But there are ways to do it without killing in this kind of combatant situation.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina thinks President Nicolas Maduro should be ousted.
You cannot allow this man to be standing after this display of force, and I did not get a very good answer as to what happens next.
The Trump administration is expanding its travel ban to include 5 more countries: Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, and Syria. Rob and Michelle Reiner's son Nick has been charged in the killing of his parents. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman.
These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with the special circumstance of multiple murders.
If convicted, Nick Reiner could face life in prison without parole or the death penalty. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti is in L.A.
The motive at this point, still unclear. We got nothing in that line from inside, but we do have a better sense of the timeline, primarily emerging from a day of reporting. Police earlier today confirming Rob and Michelle Reiner were discovered in their master bedroom Sunday afternoon. It implies perhaps that this attack happened in the early morning as they were asleep.
After releasing new enhanced video of the suspect in the Brown University campus shooting that has left 2 students dead and 9 injured, Providence police are still asking for the public's help. They're asking for the community to check security camera footage.
You see an individual, a man, wearing a surgical mask and dark clothing, and they are hoping the public can help identify this person because they don't know who the individual is.
That's CBS's Anna Schechter. Another atmospheric river hit Washington state, causing historic flooding. A levee failed on the White River in Pacific Washington, prompting evacuation orders for over 200 residents early this morning. And Washington Governor Bob Ferguson announces,
it's been a difficult week, and that difficult week has been made more difficult by a loss of life that was reported early this morning in Snohomish County.
more heavy rain is expected later this week. This is CBS News.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select Steel tools. Shop online at steelusa.com or in-store.
At 7:03 right now, we've got a cloudy sky. It is 44 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no.
No.
Just one member voting in opposition to the St. Louis County budget, which manages to trim about $50 million in spending from an $81 million deficit. But Councilwoman Lisa Clancy says she couldn't support the proposal over transparency concerns.
Negotiations have happened behind closed doors without public input and what's before us. And now we're being asked to vote on something we didn't get our hands on until 9:30 this morning, which I know was brought up as a concern for previous bills.
I'm Sean Malone. Before the St. Louis County Council voted to slash tens of millions of dollars from the budget, County Executive Sam Page said his office had not seen a proposal.
There was a description of the budget floating around, the budget cuts, and there is a description of the budget bills, but we really need to read them before we can have an opinion.
Page floated a potential veto of the budget, despite questions of whether he can.
There's a lot of rhetoric in politics, but yeah, if the budget needs to be vetoed, I'll veto it.
Even if he can and does, the budget passed with a veto-proof majority.
The increased presence of a new drug is causing St. Louis County to make Narcan more accessible. The drug is called carfentanil and is far more lethal compared to fentanyl, according to St. Louis County Health Director Dr. Kanika Cunningham.
It's 100 times more potent than fentanyl, and really what you see that it requires at least 3 to 4 doses of naloxone to respond to it.
The county is putting up more Narcan vending machines, saying carfentanil is being found more commonly in street drugs. Dr. Cunningham tells us they've seen 7 people in the county overdose from carfentanil compared to just 1 last year. Not resting on their laurels, the Gateway Arch Park Foundation's planning for the future. Executive Director Ryan McClure says that includes the possibility of expanding into East St. Louis, something they've had the authority to do since the late 90s.
We have a moment and an opportunity now where we have potential places where the park could expand, whether it's Malcolm Martin Park or areas right around it.
They're also starting a study next year into the I-44 corridor that separates the Arch grounds from downtown and looking into major improvements in the central riverfront to bring more amenities and activities there. Forecast for overnight, some clouds, overnight low 35. For tomorrow, sunshine. Dave Murray calls it wonderful with a high of 55. For tomorrow night, 45. And watch out for some possible storms, at least some rain for Thursday. Right now, it's 44. Feels like 37 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
Back at it here on KMOX. We do welcome you into the program. We are efforting right now. We hope to have him on here in the next moment or so. We are efforting the play-by-play voice of Missouri State football, Corey Riggs, as we hope to talk with him about Missouri State and their bowl game that they're going to be in coming up later on this week on Thursday night, actually. This is our only full show that we're doing this week, so this is our one opportunity to kind of go deep on a few things, and that includes the Xbox Bowl, which is on Thursday night from Frisco, Texas, as Missouri State is going to match up against Arkansas State. So I think we are going to give him a call back here in just a second, and we'll try to get him on coming up in a moment or so. Missouri State, a 7-5 season in their first year of playing FBS football, and technically they were not eligible for bowl games, but then when there were not enough bowl-eligible teams to fill up all the bowls, at that point they were able to go to some of these teams that were not eligible for whatever reasons and give them eligibility. That includes Missouri State, and rightfully so, because they had a spectacular season leading to this point. And with that, we do welcome in. He is the radio play-by-play voice of Missouri State football. He is Corey Riggs. You follow him on Twitter at I am Corey Riggs. Corey, thanks for taking some time with us tonight. How are you?
Oh, doing fantastic. Frisco is amazing. This community is the perfect spot for a bowl game. Xbox is a great sponsor, and the Bears are having a blast down here right now.
Yeah, set the scene a little bit, because actually I was having a conversation with somebody earlier where I was talking about the fact that, it's not the college football playoff, but I like the bowl system because it gives teams an opportunity to be rewarded with a bowl game. It gives fans the opportunity to go see something a little bit different. It gives the 18 to 22-year-olds an opportunity to play in a different kind of game, and it gives the communities an opportunity to show out. So set the scene in Frisco, Texas, leading into Thursday's Xbox Bowl.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree with you more. I scratch my head at any school, whether it's Notre Dame or Kansas State, for whatever reason, saying you don't want to take your kids to a bowl game just boggles my mind. The experience that we've had down here since arriving on Sunday has been nothing short of spectacular. I mean, these young men, almost 100 of them, make the trip down here as a part of the Missouri State football team. They go out to dinner. They meet their opponents. This Xbox Bowl, in their inaugural run here, really putting a lot of time and effort into making sure that the Red Wolves and the Bears get to know one another, that it's a friendly rivalry, and there's a lot of good sportsmanship come Thursday night at 8 o'clock inside the Star. They've had multiple events where the teams have competed against one another. The first was in a Family Feud style event, which the Bears won. So congrats to them on that. Meanwhile, today they had an event called, so everybody knows bowling. Apparently there's something down here in Texas I wasn't familiar with called bowling, where you throw a football and knock down bowling pins. And we played that between A-State and Mo State today, and the Red Wolves got the better of the Bears in the bowling today. So we're 1-1 evened up as bowl week goes on. But, I mean, what better way could you start a bowl week than seeing Arkansas State and Missouri State student athletes get handed out brand new portable handheld Xboxes. I mean, Xbox gave away basically $130,000 to those two teams the night they got to the hotel. And I can promise you the Wi-Fi in this hotel cannot handle all of those Xboxes on it right now. I can't upload content to save my life, man.
What's taking a step back and looking back at the season, I keep saying that what Missouri State did this year is the sports story that in the state of Missouri we're just not talking about enough. First year in FBS football, and the team goes and does what it does, and they get themselves into a bowl game as more than a bystander, but not quite a participant, just watching what was going on. What was it like as this season went through, and all of a sudden you realized there could be some pretty cool things on the table?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's the best sports story in Missouri that nobody outside of the 417 is talking about. Because honestly, there weren't even that many people in the 417 in the Ozarks that thought this Bears team could be a bowl team. Now, let's start with the simple fact that as a transitioning from FCS to FBS member, we weren't supposed to be. And I know you were talking about that before I could finally get my phone to work and hop on with you. But this wasn't supposed to be in the cards. Every talking head, pundit, college football expert, Phil Steele, you name any of them, said this was a 3 or a 4 win team max. But the guys in the locker room and the head coach and the coaching staff didn't see it that way. And I tell you what, the difference between week 1 and being awestruck and shell-shocked inside the LA Memorial Coliseum to a USC team, to going on the road to Marshall, a school that since making that same transition from FCS to FBS has an 84% winning percentage at home. Only Alabama, Boise State, and Texas A&M have had better home winning percentage in the last decade than Marshall, than the Thundering Herd. And the Bears went out there and beat them. And when they did, it was like a switch flipped. They got into Conference USA play and beat teams that did not expect them to put up a fight. The Bears went in and won close game after close game. Jacob Clark has been the Missouri State equivalent at times of Pat Mahomes back when Kansas City was winning games, not really like this year. But if you give the Bears the football, Jacob Clark needs 60 seconds and a timeout, and he will get you a score. And they won one-score game after one-score game against Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, FIU. They didn't lose in the month of October, in a month where they had to play all their games on Wednesday night, because that's CUSA's way of getting national TV exposure. So they went 3-0 on Wednesday night, and they were off to the races from there. A 7-win season, and I could not be prouder of this bunch. They have exceeded expectations.
Ryan Beard did just a spectacular job coaching the team, and that led to another opportunity as he moves on to Coastal Carolina. Never a great situation when you lose your coach prior to a bowl game. How has the team handled this transition as Nick Petrino is currently serving as the interim head coach?
You know, the young men on this team have done a great job. Nick, LD Scott, the offensive and defensive coordinators, all the staff are here. Everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction. But I think the young men on this team have a refreshing outlook at this, because this is the era of modern college football. And what's good for the coach now is good for the players too. And Ryan Beard, over the course of the 3 years as the head coach here, has had to bring guys in, coach them up, develop them, and have them look him in the eye and say, Coach, I've got a better opportunity. It's a bigger opportunity for me and my family. I've got to take it. And Ryan has shook those young men's hands, patted them on the back, and said, I'm proud of you. Go do it. I think these players have taken on that same persona of their coach, the same way he is energetic and gritty and tough. They also understand this was going to be almost triple the salary that he was making at Missouri State. This was a place that already has indoor training facilities, is selling out games. There were things that you just couldn't turn away from. And I mean, Conway, South Carolina is I love living in Springfield, Missouri, but Conway, South Carolina is a pretty nice place to live too.
Are those type of things in the cards for Missouri State as they continue to grow? Is there work about the facilities improvements and the training and all of that? Is that part of the overall plan?
Absolutely. There have been multiple $1 million improvements made to Placer Stadium, the Bears' home already. Brand new turf this year, brand new LED lights that were all shown off this year. They redid the press box. There's been improvements to the luxury suites. They're in the middle of a fundraising campaign right now. I believe an $8 to $10 million campaign. They've got about $5 to $8 billion donated by private and anonymous donors already to take McDonald Arena, which for the real diehard SMS Bear fans and students that matriculated on that campus, that was the original arena where Bears basketball started. It ended up being kind of a PE classroom and some other things. Well, now it's going to get a multi-million-dollar facelift. It's going to be brand new offices for football, brand new workout facilities, brand new locker room. So there's a ton of improvements being made. Maybe the one that Patrick Ransdell, the Bears AD, says all the time, you can't do everything at once. You got to kind of take them a bit at a time. So this year it was the stadium. Next year it's going to be offices, workout facilities. Then I think you'll see a conversation about indoor training facilities because we got a ton of high schools in Southwest Missouri that have popped up really nice 100-yard indoor training facilities. But the Bears are really landlocked as far as real estate to drop that in the middle of campus, and that's one of the hang-ups there.
Interesting. It is fertile recruiting land when you think about what's not that far away in a couple major markets in the state of Missouri, and then you don't have to go that far south to get into some states that produce some high D1 talent. So it's a good place to be. It's a good place to build a program. And we mentioned earlier that Nick Petrino is serving as the interim coach. I read the other day that his dad, Bobby Petrino, who had been the head coach there for a little while, has been around a little bit recently. Is that correct? Does he have an unofficial role kind of right now?
Well, there's no role other than dad.
Okay.
And I can tell you that because I had the weirdest experience today, and this is going to sound like horrible name dropping, but I still don't believe it happened. I was in the lobby talking to our director of athletics, Patrick Ransdell, when Bobby Petrino, his wife, and a couple of the grandkids made their way through the lobby. So we started talking to Bobby, and walking up in the middle of that conversation was Hall of Fame wide receiver Jerry Rice, who happens to be staying here at the Omni. And he introduced himself to Coach Petrino. He then introduced himself to me, and I was like, I know who you are. Like, this is crazy. Get to meet Jerry Rice. But Bobby is super proud of his son-in-laws, LD and Ryan, and his son, Nick. And while he has been in town because his stint in Arkansas is over, there's been no associate head coach or anything like that. He's just been supporting Nick and LD and the family, and is here to cheer on the Bears on Thursday night.
It's pretty remarkable what the Petrino family has, in a kind of a short amount of time, really meant to Missouri State football.
Oh, I think there's going to be a statue down the road. Listen, if you are a Missouri State fan or alum like I am, and you have been on that campus in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, and you have seen what football on that campus was, this is unrecognizable. I mean, not just the jump to FBS, but when Bobby Petrino took that job 6 years ago, as COVID was happening, he ended things that I never knew would be able to end. It was a 30-year playoff drought. We hadn't been in the playoffs since 89-90. Bobby Petrino, Ryan Beard, Nick Petrino, that staff ended that. We got back in the playoffs. We had never won a share of the Missouri Valley Football Conference title. They did that in the first 2 years here. And then Coach Petrino had an opportunity to go somewhere else, which is kind of par for the course at this, level of football and at a school like Missouri State. So he ends up back in Arkansas, and it gives Ryan a golden opportunity to show that he is the prototypical modern head football coach. He is energetic. He is a master motivator. The kids will run through a brick wall for him. He is good with the media. Coastal Carolina is very lucky that they got him. We're going to miss him a lot here in Springfield, but there is a ton of work going on right now, a lot of it going on right here inside the Omni Hotel at the Star to find the next head coach of Missouri State football.
An amazing story. Missouri State, first year FBS football, 7-5. There were not enough schools to fill all the bowls. Generally, you have to go through this transition period where you're not bowl eligible. Missouri State was able to take advantage of some schools out there either not going or just not enough teams from the onslaught. They get bowl eligible. They're headed to the Xbox Bowl Thursday night, Arkansas State. Such a great story. Corey Riggs, thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful call. Have fun on Thursday night, and hopefully we can chat with you every once in a while moving forward.
No, I'd love the opportunity. Thanks for having me on, and go Bears.
Awesome. Very good. It's Corey Riggs. He's going to be broadcasting the game coming up on Thursday night on radio. Missouri State, Arkansas State. Again, the Xbox Bowl in Frisco, Texas. And that makes me really happy. Multiple things make me happy. First off, I think it's cool that Missouri State's in the bowl game. Secondly, just the idea that community is really supporting that bowl game. If you were with us during Rush Hour Sports, Kevin Wheeler had the thought that we need to change the bowl system and get rid of some of these bowls, and I'm against that. I like all these bowl games. I know sometimes the optics of nobody in the stands doesn't look great. I know sometimes the optics of teams opting out. I am a graduate of a school that opted out of a bowl this year, Kansas State. After they had a coach retire, they made the decision that, and their next head coach is going to serve as the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M until their run in the college football playoff is over. And it didn't sound like their last coach, Chris Kleiman, was real interested in continuing to coach the bowl game. So they made the decision not to participate in a bowl game. I was disappointed by that. I think bowl games are special, even if you're not in the college football playoff, and it's really good to see that part of that has to be the community supporting the bowl and making it feel like a big deal, and it sounds like the good people down in Frisco, Texas absolutely are doing that for both Missouri State and Arkansas State. So good stuff all the way around. We appreciate Corey Riggs taking a few moments with us. We'll take a break. We've still got more coming up. We'll hear from Blues coach Jim Montgomery. We'll do that at about 7:35 or so, play back some of what he had to say after practice today. We'll talk a little baseball still before we get out of here, too. Don't go anywhere. You're locked to a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Dr. Martin Luther King.
There for every headline.
This is KMOX, the news voice of St. Louis. Martin Luther King, father of nonviolence and the civil rights movement, was killed by an assassin's bullet tonight in Memphis, Tennessee.
The assassination of Dr. King tonight demonstrates to what depth some people in this great nation of ours have fallen.
Dr. Martin Luther King was my friend, as he was to hundreds of clergymen and thousands of church leaders in this city who heard him gladly when we brought him here. I express on behalf of all his friends here our deepest sympathy.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Achieve more with competitive rates on savings and lending. Visit togethercu.org.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Keep your family safe this Christmas season with help from Menards. From smoke and carbon monoxide detectors to fire extinguishers and more, Kidde home safety products keep your family protected in case of emergencies. Kidde detectors feature enhanced sensing technology that reduces false alarms and give fast alerts for more time to get out safely. Right now, all Kidde smoke, carbon monoxide, and combination detectors are on sale through December 24th at Menards.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Hi, this is Bob Ramsey. Congratulations to KMOX, home of the Billikens, 100 years strong as the voice of St. Louis.
Back at it on a Gray Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. Great to be with you. Taking you for another 35 minutes. We'll take you till 8 o'clock this evening. And then we've got our Gas House Gang replay from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Short show for SLU basketball. They match up against Bethune-Cookman. Bob Ramsey, Earl Austin Jr. of the call. 7 o'clock tip. 6:45 for pregame Thursday night. Countdown to opening day. And no, I got it wrong. Thursday night football. So we'll do a short show on that. And then Friday night, we are moving this week, countdown to opening day. It'll actually be on Friday night this week. So this is the only time at 7:26 p.m. this week that you can be tuned in to KMOX at this exact time and hear a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. We'll hear from Jim Montgomery coming up in just a few moments. So I was talking earlier about the 40-man implications of the Dustin May deal and why I believe, and I could be wrong on this, I have no inside information on this whatsoever, but I think there's some common sense involved here. It feels like the Cardinals are slow playing the official signing of Dustin May to see if anything else pops off in terms of trades. That way they don't have to remove a player from the 40-man roster to add May just to maybe a few days later, if that's when a trade happens, all of a sudden trade somebody off the 40-man roster. Maybe you're not getting anything back that fills the 40-man roster. So you lost the player off the 40-man roster for logistical reasons, not for any real reasons. And I would not tell you that there's nobody on the Cardinals 40-man roster that they could not move on from. There are. There certainly are players, but I would assume that there's nobody on the 40-man roster that the Cardinals want to move on from, at least at this point. And I was trying to find the comment on our video stream. Unfortunately, sometimes our video stream and the chat that goes along with it is just a bunch of people calling each other's names and yelling at each other as opposed to interacting with the show. And then I lose the comments that are actually sent at me about stuff that's going on the show. So I can't find it because there's too many comments with people yelling at each other. But somebody basically said, well, why is Jose Fermin still on this team? I think with the idea that, you know what, if you sign Dustin May, you can move on from Jose Fermin. And is that a possibility? I guess so, but Jose Fermin is not a problem for the Cardinals. If he's the last guy on the roster, that's fine. He didn't play a lot this past year, but his numbers were fine. He played 30 games. He was a 283 hitter. He had a 794 OPS. In fact, one of my not so hot takes, but if I was the one making the decisions, I would have actually played Jose Fermin a little bit more than he played. I thought from an off, we'd seen him year after year after year put up huge numbers in the minor leagues and then not be able to recreate that at the major league level. I thought he put together a very nice, solid major league season this year. Did not get a lot of opportunities, but the overall numbers were fine. And I'm not doing a Jose Fermin segment on December 16th. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But the point that I am trying to make is that we can go up and down the 40-man roster. Like if we wanted to, and we're not going to, but if we wanted to, we could read off every single player who is on the 40-man roster and give an explanation and a reason why they are on the 40-man roster and the value that they bring. So, yeah, does Jose Fermin bring a ton of value to the St. Louis Cardinals? No, that's not what I'm trying to say. But is a guy who hit 283 with an almost 800 OPS for you and has a pretty solid track record of being a very good hitter in the minor leagues and someone who still is looking for more big league opportunities and maybe is still kind of coming into his own there? Is there value in having that guy on your 40-man roster? Of course there is. Of course there is. So that's the flippant, just sign Dustin May. You can just you can just remove Jose Fermin from the 40-man roster. The only point that I'm trying to make, and it's really not an important point to make again on December 16th. We can talk if Jose Fermin is involved in this team this upcoming season, we can talk about it once the season gets started. But I would encourage not to be so flippant about the 40-man roster. Now, if there's ways if you can go get somebody who's better than Jose Fermin, who can do more for you, and the cost is him not being on the 40-man roster anymore, okay, I'm all for that. But I do think that this is an organization that is working very hard to improve overall talent as much as they possibly can. A disappointing performance from the St. Louis Blues last night. We are going to hear from Jim Montgomery. He spoke after practice today. That conversation is coming up, or now those cuts from him are coming up in just a moment on KMOX.
Well,
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER. Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RAIN.
Once again this year, Christmas meets the Beatles. You're invited to Let It Be Christmas, a rock opera that tells the Christmas story entirely with classic Beatles songs. It's a St. Louis holiday tradition, now in its 16th season. Yes, here comes the fun. Performances are December 21 and 22 at the beautiful Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. Let It Be Christmas, the gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Tickets available now at MetroTix or the K-Pack box office.
Need new appliances for the holiday season? Menards is the place to shop. We have appliances ready to take home today. Whether you want new laundry appliances or need upgrades for your kitchen, you'll be sure to find appliances that'll make your life easier. Visit our excellent in-stock appliance selection today. Plus, check out Menards.com to view all of our great deals happening this week.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Get ready for Thursday Night Football as the Rams face the Seahawks.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:30. Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Rams, the Seahawks. Thursday Night Football on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house? On the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Winterfest is back for the 10th year in Keener Plaza, now through January 11th. Enjoy Winterfest traditions, including ice skating, s'mores, and igloos underneath 100,000 twinkling lights in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. Grab a bite or drink from downtown favorites and enjoy a family-friendly New Year's Eve fireworks spectacular. Winterfest, hosted by Gateway Arch Park Foundation, presented by Bank of America and Worldwide Technology. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing a checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?